And welcome to the End Time Shofar End Time Bible Prophecy channel. We'll be doing a new series called Occult and Masonic Symbolism. And today's part of this series, we'll be starting off with the DreamNet Dream Catcher. As we can see here by this picture, here is the Dream Catcher. We can see right here within this picture. It's quite popular in today's society, American society. You can see somebody driving down the street in their car and can have this hanging on their rear mirror. You can see people having this dream catcher hanging at their doorpost of their home, or even having Native American art that really presents this dream catcher, or even wearing a t-shirt that has a dream catcher on there. But we really want to expose how this is definitely a cult symbol. It's a way that attracts spirits, and also too, it's a way of being a portal for spirits to travel through into our dimension and raise havoc. So that's the purpose of why we are doing this series, to expose people, especially Christians, so much innocently bring such items into their house and are totally unaware of these items being occult symbols and part of a pagan culture. And these things are normally not taught in the local church. So we're here to equip people to know the truth. So when we go over to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11, I think it really exposes, or really resonates and really tells why we are doing this series, to really help people and to equip people. Ephesians 5 and 11 reads, "And have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them." So we're here to expose people to the unfruitful works of darkness, because when you come to Christ, he's brought you into this marvelous light, and Satan is the god of this world, and he keeps the children of disobedience blind. So we're here to expose truth. So let's go ahead and dive in and see the truth behind the dream catcher. Famous Freemason and occult philosopher and writer Manly P. Hall had to say this about symbols in his lectures of ancient philosophies. He says, "Symbols are an ocular form, mysterious patterns, creating a vortex and substance of invisible world. They are centers of a mighty force, figures pregnant with the awful power, which, when properly fashioned, loose fiery whirlwinds upon the earth." When we read on other quotes from Manly P. Hall, he says, "Symbolism is the language of the mysteries. By symbols, men have ever sought to communicate to each other those thoughts which transcend limitation of language." From the Masonic Legacy book, page 136 by Lee, Lincoln, and Beget, it states this in their book. It says, "The crucial question, of course, is what kind of meaning is being conferred by the use of certain symbols. What stands to be gained, what lost, and by whom?" So let's get down to the nitty-gritty and start finding out what the actual symbol means behind the dream catcher. One witchcraft magazine, Circle Network News, in an article entitled "Amulets, Talisman, and Charms," written by Selena Fox, a witch, explains the dream net like this: "This charm from the Ojibwe tribe in Minnesota is made of sinew stretched over a small hoop of ash. It is designed to bring a good night's sleep especially for children, and is hung horizontally over a child's cradle board or crib. Tradition says that the air is filled with both good and bad dreams waiting to come to the sleeping child. This net allows good dreams to find their way to the child through the hole in the center, while bad dreams are caught up in the web where they dissolve in dawn's light. Dream nets continue to be used by the Ojibwe people today as ancient times. When we look at Frank Gainer's book, Dictionary of Mysticism, page 35, this is what he had to say about the dream net. Very powerful. It says the dream net or dream catcher is quite popular these days, especially for use in babies' cribs. However, this is not an innocent ornament. It is actually a charm. A dictionary of mysticism reports that a charm is any magic word, formula, incantation, object, sign, or amulet supposed to possess occult powers. So the dream catcher is more or less a talisman or amulet. It possesses occult powers. So we know that occult powers come from the demonic world. One paper explaining the legend of the dream catcher states, long ago, when the world was young, an old Lakota spiritual leader was on a high mountain and had a vision. In his vision, the Ekatomi, the great trickster and teacher of wisdom, appeared in the form of a spider. The Ekatomi spoke to him in sacred language that only the spiritual leaders of the Lakota could understand. All the while, the spider spoke, and he continued to weave his web, starting from the outside, working towards the center. If you believe in Great Spirit, the web will catch your good ideals, and the bad ones will go through the hole. The Lakota elder passed on his vision to his people, and now the Sioux Indians use the dream catcher as the web of their life. It's hung above their beds or in their homes to sift their dreams and visions. The good in their dreams are captured in the web of life and carried with them, but the evil in their dreams escapes through the hole in the center of the web and no longer part of them. So let's return to the story of the dream net. We can find that the spider, the Ekatomi, was known as a trickster. How can you be sure that he didn't trick the people with his tale of the dream catcher? How can you be sure that the good dreams are caught and the evil ones are filtered out? A trickster is known for lying, deception, and mischief. And if the story were true, the spider himself could not be trusted to be telling the truth. So it's kind of a paradox or catch-22 that the Ekatomi, this spirit appears as a spider, is a trickster. So how do you know if this vision is a false vision, if it's telling the truth or not? Well, when we look at it, the devil, he is a murderer from the beginning, and he does not stand in truth. There's no truth in him. He is a liar and the father of lies. So the father of lies is the devil himself. So we see here that the Ekatomi, these people are believing a trickster, which is a liar or a deceiver, believing that that's truth. Unfortunately, people that are within the Sioux tribe and these different Native American tribes are being deceived by these evil spirits, these principalities and powers that hold them captive, ensnare them, and hold them slaves by their their culture, not seeing the true living God. I want to leave you this. If you are a Christian and you're saved and you bring in occult items, you bring in things like the dream net or dream catcher into your house, Joshua chapter 7, verse 11 says, "And Israel has sinned, and they also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them, for they had even taken the accursed thing and have also stolen, and the symbol also they have put into even among their own stuff." So you bring in the dream net or dream catcher into your house, you bring the accursed item into your house. Any pagan or occult items or artifacts that you bring in, you have to make sure that you discard that out from your house, because it can have a serious spiritual impact upon you. Sin in the camp. When we look at Joshua 7 and 13, because this was the sin of Achan, because Achan took in, he took money, but also too he brought in a cursed garment. That was a Babylonian type garment into the camp, and it cursed the camp. It says, "Upon the sanctify the people and say, sanctify yourself against tomorrow. But thus saith the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel, thou canst not stand before thy enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you." So you can't really be blessed in the Lord and spiritually prosper if you're bringing accursed items into your house. God bless. This is the End Time Shofar.